Hello, welcome to Dungeon Dwellers Podcast. I'm your host Justin. It's been a while since I've done like a TV review, so I had like two choices in mind. Which, by the way, I got Netflix. So if there's any Netflix show you want me to review, let me know. But like, I had two TV shows in mind: Utopia or Sliders, which is like the '90s sci-fi show starring Jerry O'Connell. Obviously, by the title, you know I picked Utopia instead. Which the reason why I picked Utopia, because it had like two of the stars from a movie I recently reviewed called Kill List. Which the show, for people who don't know, is created by Dennis Kelly. It had a remake last year made for like Amazon. The show is conspiracy thriller. It has like 12 episodes. It aired on like Channel 4 on British TV. It's created by Dennis Kelly. I don't know if I said that already. The TV show stars Fiona O'Shaughnessy as Jessica Hyde, Alexandra Roach as Becky, which she looks way hotter in this picture than she does in the show. Neil Maskell as Arby, who was in Kill This. Adeel Akhtar as Wilson, Emilia Jones as Alice Ward, Nathan Stewart-Jarrett as Ian, Paul Reedy as Lee. You got Stephen Rhea as Conrad Letts, and one of my favorite actors from In the Loop and The Thick of It, Paul Higgins as Michael Dugdale, which, like, Jamie, you really let me down in this show, man. You really let me down. Which, Jamie was his name from the Thick of It and In the Loop. Which, if you haven't, there's a fucking great scene from In the Loop, which was a movie based off the show, but not really, where he plays the same character, where he goes on like a rant about the movie There Will Be Blood and how much it sucked, and it wasn't in the movie, it was a deleted scene. But the reason I watched that movie was because I saw that deleted scene on YouTube, not knowing it was deleted scene. Yeah. So I'll just read the synopsis for episode 1. 5 strangers from an online comic book forum agree to meet after one of them gains possession of the original manuscript of the unpublished second volume of the cult graphic novel, The Utopia Experiments. A shadowy organization known as the Network is in pursuit, which at no point do they say the name of this organization. As far as you know, it's like 2 guys. Is in pursuit of the manuscript and a person named Jessica Hyde, and is willing to track both down. While 3 of the forum members, Ian, Becky, and Wilson, meet in a pub, Bijan, who acquired the manuscript, is confronted and killed by 2 Network henchmen, RB and Lee. The only witness to the murder is 11-year-old Grant, who's the fifth member of the forum, who everybody hates because he's kind of a troll. And when he flees with the manuscript, the henchmen give chase. Ian and Becky soon find they've been framed for crimes they haven't committed, while Wilson's hacking skills attract the attention of RB and Lee. As the trio's lives begin to fracture, civil servant Michael Dugdale, which is Jamie from The Thick of It, world is also torn apart as he is blackmailed by the Network. Just as things are looking increasingly desperate for Ian, Becky, and Wilson, they meet the enigmatic stranger Jessica Hyde. Which, thank God I did not read this fucking description for this episode before I watched it, because it pretty much spoils everything. Yeah, the TV show, sorry I keep calling it movie. I'm just so used to doing movie reviews. And the TV show, I'll give it this much. The TV show is shot very cinematic, to the point where like it looks like a movie, right? Especially the scene where the 2 guys, the 2 henchmen, go into like Doomsday Comics to interrogate the comic book guy there, who's where the comic book is, which the comic book itself, it's described as like this kind of horror science fiction dystopic comic book where there's this character in the book who's like comic book who has like who shows himself as like this rabbit or rabbit humanoid, or like he'll show himself as any of like other animal hybrids, and like it's supposed to be like the devil or some shit, which is why when you like if you ever watch trailers for the new show, the American remake, they constantly show like rabbits and shit, which the one of the other reasons why I wanted to check out the show. The show very much reminds me of this manga I read last year that I really loved, which was 20th Century Boys, which is this manga by I think his name is Naoto Urasawa or some shit like that. The guy who wrote the manga for Monster, where it not 20th Century Boys is this fucking epic manga that starts off really slow, where it's like about these like 30-something-year-olds getting together to reminisce about their like schoolboy days, right? When one of them dies and they of mysterious circumstances, and they try to investigate it, and there's this crazy cult. There's this crazy cult, and it turns into a post-apocalyptic series where like a character, the villain turns out to be like like a version, like may or may not be an alien or the devil, and our main character, who everybody thinks is dead, comes back to life and is like a Jesus, like fucking avatar or some shit. Fucking awesome. But yeah, back to this show. Yeah, the scene where the two henchmen go into like the Doomsday Comics comic book store, and they right away there's like gore in the show where the guy pulls like a pipe out of a bag and smashes one of the comic book store shopper's head in, and then brings out this gas canister, makes this guy breathes in the gas, telling him it'll just make him go to sleep. And he does it to the comic book guy, and then the comic book guy sees the guy who was gassed on the floor with his eyes wide open, and realized that like, oh, he's not gonna go to sleep, he's being fucking gassed to death. Which was cool. There's also like, yeah, there's the three, I guess, main characters, where you have the black one, Ian, who's like this 28-year-old working at like an IT job, lives at home, bored, is unmotivated in life, which is starting to sound a lot like me. Except I don't work in IT. I would love to have an office job. Yeah. He's one of the main characters. You have Becky, who believes in the conspiracy that the Utopia experiments is this comic book that was created to expose a certain certain pharmaceutical company wrongdoings, and is predicting like the end of the world, right? And then you have Wilson, who's this crazy conspiracy theorist guy, who's not entirely sure what race he is. He might be, I think he's like Arab, but like just by the look of him, he looks Arab. And he's this crazy conspiracy guy. He lives with his parents, doesn't have a bank account or any means like for him to get tracked. Says like he can leave, that he has like his computer set up that he can look around the internet and not be traced, which is like, come on, dude. Like, people thought that of VPNs back in the day, and like Like there's like obvious backdoors and shit, and like VPN companies will like if you're doing illegal shit with a VPN, like the VPN companies are going to fucking rat you out, retard. Like, but whatever, right? He kind of reminded me of what's his name of Mel Gibson's character from Lethal Weapon, where he's able to dislocate. Um, well, in like Mel Gibson's character, I forget his name, was able to dislocate his shoulder so he can get out of straitjackets. This guy can dislocate his thumbs so he can get out of handcuffs, which he does when he gets captured by the henchmen and is brutally tortured. And the method of how they torture this guy is by rubbing different substances into his eyes using a spoon at the end, which he's able to escape and kill his torturer, but not before being pretty much blinded for life, and he's missing one of his eyes. Which that was a very cool scene, and like he looks like when you see his face after that, he looks like the fucking G. What was his name? G from fucking Men in Black with his bugged out eyes. Where like obviously only one of his eyes is bugged out because the other one's missing, and it's like all bloodshot and red from the chili and bleach that was put in his fucking eye. Holy fuck! And that's what. And he escapes. He warns his two other friends, and which there's this funny scene where like they're drinking in the dude's bomb shelter, and like the Ian and Becky start to make out, and they looks like they're about to have sex, but then like Ian's like, I can't get my dick my penis. No, like well specifically he said my penis won't work, which is that scene was somewhat realistic because this guy's a 28-year-old virgin, probably has jacked off like twice a day for like most of his life, and like if you watch too much porn, it fucks with your brain and makes it like makes it hard for you to be aroused when when you do get into a situation like that, right? Because you're so used to watching like fucked up shit and shit, not fucked up shit, but like porn addiction is a lot like drug addiction, where you need to watch more and more heavier stuff to get more aroused, which is why you should like if I do whack off, I only do it like every couple days or something. Fuck. Yeah, but like I thought that was weird because like that scene, because like usually if your penis doesn't work, women use certain methods to get it hard, right? Like oral sex, or like rubbing their soft parts on it to get it aroused. uh, yeah, so I don't know, but yeah, if I were to rate this episode for this TV show, it's a 7 out of 10. Very interesting. My problem with the show is a lot of the more recognizable like faces are used as like side characters, and like the main characters are like nobodies, right? Which maybe if I lived in the UK, right, I would know who these people are. Besides from Becky, who I think I've seen before in other stuff, I did not recognize the other characters. So I don't know. Like the TV show, in my opinion, is lacking star power, in my opinion, right? Though the Neil Maskell as Arby was fucking amazing in this show, which is why I think like he's in like a couple memes and shit. I think he's like supposed to be like everybody's favorite character, despite the fact that he's like a villain, which he comes off very cool. I find it funny that like that he like this is like the second. I've only seen him in like two things, and each role he's played like a fucking psychopathic murderer, and even kills like his partner from the movie Kill List, which sorry, yeah, Michael Smiley plays Detective Reynolds. Like he kills him in this fucking in this episode, which I'm like, holy fuck, that's your mate, buddy. Like you just kill him like that. Which like this TV show only came out like what 2 years after Kill This, so I don't know. I don't know. I thought that was funny. I don't know. I might be interested in continuing to watch more episodes of this TV show, but I'll wait to see like how many like views and likes, and if it gets more views and likes than my Sliders review, which is I'm going to watch and review that, then we'll continue watching reviewing episodes of Utopia. All right, guys, that's it for this review. Peace.